Welcome to finally another episode of the Lil Sis Podcast. I'm so happy to say I'm your host, Marissaa.f, and today is another special episode because it doesn't just feel like episode 4 of my series. It feels like episode 1 of season 2. I have taken some time off, I'll admit, and only because I started this thing under pressure, it felt like. And I was truly doing this as something where I had to do it, and I was taking life a little too seriously, trying to press a brand that I myself had no idea what it was. So I stopped it. And especially when it's a one-man show, if anybody out there has done YouTube or has done podcasting, if it's a one-man show, it's very difficult figuring every little detail out and making an episode after the fact and having to edit it. So we're finally back. I'm feeling a little less nervous and more free about doing this. I want to feel a little bit more unhinged, and I think that's a good vibe for me because that's how I live life. I do things without thinking when I'm having fun, and it's all in, I'd say, like good intentions, and I just don't care what anyone else thinks. So I think I'm going to lead my podcast exactly like that. With this podcast in mind, I'm actually making the theme about being a little bit more authentic, being a pretty girl that loves to enjoy life and showcasing that. And I want my viewers to also take that in with themselves. And we can be a community doing this all the time and making sure that the people that we're surrounding ourselves with is following suit. This episode is all about embracing life with confidence, joy, and that pretty girl energy. It's not about forcing what we look like or forcing what energy we're giving off to make other people feel better. It's about coming authentic to each event, each opportunity, and if the people want to take it, they can take it. If they don't, they don't, and you move on to the next. So in that sense, it's not about planning every moment, but showing up pretty, present, and with a smile. And in my experience, life has been responding accordingly. I just went to Mexico, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because that trip for my birthday and then going to Big Sur has really opened my eyes about how I want to be on this podcast and how I want to show up on social media with my friends and with my family. So do you know what pairs perfectly with celebrating life, confidence, flow, and blessings? It's tequila. So with this episode, we are being sponsored by Tepozan Tequila, and we were blessed with 3 flavors. When I was reached out by the company, I genuinely thought it was going to be 1 bottle. And in the mail, I opened up the box, and it was 3 whole bottles. I literally looked and just took a moment like, oh my God, I actually have 3 bottles here. This is serious. And also I'm gonna have to drink 3 tequila bottles, so they want me drunk, I guess. I'm really excited that this was the company that wanted to support and sponsor this episode of my podcast because I think it emulates everything so perfectly. It celebrates life, confidence, flow, and all the blessings, and it helps honestly be more authentic when you go out. So through this episode, I'm going to be tasting and taking a shot of each flavor, and then I'm going to be making a perfect margarita. She already made one, and I'm feeling a little loopy, which is good. So I already off camera opened the seals and opened them because you know what? The only thing I'd say about these wax seals is it's super hard to open, but all good things in life are hard to achieve. So to kickstart this episode, I'm going to start off with the reposado flavor, and we're going to take a shot of that now. I was actually really excited about, having tequila as a sponsor because there's nothing more better than being drunk recording your podcast. And I want to be more unhinged these days, be more authentic to my viewers. So cheers. I have a prepared lime, so let's go. Cheers. Ooh. You know what? What makes a shot worse is actually eating that lime afterwards, I think. The reposado was actually super smooth and super sweet. I swear, when I opened up the tequila bottle, I took a sniff, and it smells super sweet. So I think this might be my go-to. Usually when I drink shots, I ask for reposado. So this is going to be my pregame bottle when I start going out on the weekends. Usually Christmas bar Thursdays. So with me on my left-hand side, I have the necessities for a margarita, and we'll make that at the end of this episode to celebrate the first episode of season 2. I'm going to open up the rest of the bottles. This is Añejo, and the other one is Blanco. So through the episode, we're going to just keep taking the shots. So, encapsulating the idea about authenticity matters than perfection, being real with yourself and others builds real connection. I really experienced that going to Ciudad de Mexico. I wanted to do this for so long, and it just seemed like the perfect moment for my birthday. Recently, I think since 2 birthdays ago, I started to want birthdays to be more intimate. I just started noticing the people that I allowed in my birthday celebration started to drop off like flies each and every year. And it made my memories of the birthdays in the past kind of sad. So I wanted to make it more special by doing things with myself, because there's nothing more I love in life than experiencing something that is true to me, and I don't have to worry about what my expressions or vibe is and how it's affecting others. Or I'll have my family with me, because family never goes anywhere. I decided to tell my family I was going to Mexico, when the month started in November. And I already knew I was going to be going by myself, but I wanted to give my family a heads up. And my mom was right away like, I would love to go, but I can't afford a ticket right now. So my sister, being the best that she is, she said, if you want mom to go, then I'll help buy a ticket so you can have that, and I'll be your birthday present. And I want nothing more than my mom to experience the world and live her best life also. And genuinely speaking, I think I am her favorite daughter. I'm just kidding. But I'm her favorite daughter in a sense that I emulate the little child in her that doesn't care about what anyone else thinks and lives her life to the fullest. And I think when my mom's with me, that especially comes out. So I was so excited. So we bought the ticket. Come the actual time to fly, it was 5 days before my mom got injured and she wasn't able to go anymore. So that was set in stone. I was flying to Mexico and experiencing it by myself. Flew up by myself on a Wednesday, and I was so scared. I'm a Latina, but my Spanish has not been practiced, and I was really scared. You hear a lot of things about Mexico, but at the end of the day, there was nothing like it going out there knowing that it's a city that appreciates art, and it's a city where my family has originated from. So I knew there'd be a sense of home when I got there. So I got there, I flew in, I checked into my hotel, and I got ready, and I was like, let's hit the town. I was so hungry, I wanted some tacos. I walked to a taco shop, and right away, 2 guys walked up to me while I was in line, and they were waiting as well. And they just started talking to me, basically Spanglish, and I was really blessed for that. But they were about my age, and they were just asking about where I was from and what I was doing here. And so we got each other's Instagrams, and then they left because they realized they were out of time. They were only on lunch break. Later that night, we were messaging on Instagram what we were doing, and I was asking them for recommendations on where to go because I wanted to experience a music bar. And they gave me a couple of recommendations, and we met up at a vinyl listening bar, which was a rooftop, and it was so beautiful and super cool. You could buy all the records there, and I genuinely had such a good time. They were teaching me Spanish words. They were helping me with the hosts at the front because they spoke no English, and it was truly a blessing to have that experience. I was able to do that and then go to a salsa dancing bar, see people there. a lot of people came up to me that were actually from California and they were just visiting as well, or they moved to Mexico City from California, which was an eye-opener, making me realize it's possible to do. After that, I was able to walk home. And on my way home, I come across this party that's happening at a sunglass store. There's a DJ, there's free alcohol, the people outside are dressed in the coolest attire. And I stop in and they're like, what drink do you want, in Spanish? And I'm like, oh, I'll take some wine. And they pour me a wine glass and people are just vibing and dancing and coming up to me to ask where I'm from and just have a real conversation. And I swear things like that don't happen unless you're traveling outside of America. People are more, I think, intrigued by other people and strangers and their neighbors than America is. And that's the one thing I love about traveling. So I woke up the next day and I was able to take a workout class. That was the best thing. And I actually was so scared to take that workout class because it was, going to be in Spanish. I haven't done reformer Pilates in a while. And doing that class made me realize that I could actually live in Mexico if I really wanted to, and also just do a year there to learn more Spanish and get more closer to, I would say, my culture. And I went off to a mezcal bar that I was recommended by the people I met the night before. And I went to this mezcal bar. The inside was immaculate. It was designed like old Mayan times, and it was really authentic. And as I was standing after I ordered my drinks, I was just standing looking at the ambiance, and I hear someone's voice next to me saying, hey, do you speak English? I look over and it's these two German people. They're a couple and they've been traveling for like the last 6 months, and they say, I am so enamored by your side profile. Like, your face is so beautiful. I've never seen a face structure like that. Can I please take a picture of you with my film camera? And I kid you not, that lightened my night up. I couldn't believe the type of compliment that was. I said, of course, sure, go ahead. And they're like, are you sure? I said, yes, of course, please take a picture. That is the most kindest thing anyone has said to me. So she takes a picture of my side profile as I'm standing there, and we get to talking. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I learn more about them. They ask me, I say I'm traveling alone for my birthday. And I tell them I'm going to see a German DJ actually tonight. He's playing and it's starting at 12. Do you want to come? And they're like, no way, a German DJ. Obviously, they've been traveling different countries away from home, and to hear that, it's kind of like serendipity. So they join me to go to this DJ event, and we stay out till 4 a.m. We're dancing. I meet another kind individual there. They buy us glow-in-the-dark lollipops. It was just the most amazing kindest experience to be doing that. My first night out actually drinking and having fun. Following that, I, accompanied my sister to go to a wedding event that she was already planning on going, and I just wanted to tag along until my next to-do list was ready to go. It's time for me to leave, go to the bar that I had messaged on Instagram asking if I could get on their guest list for free because I was traveling for my birthday. They, of course, said yes, and I went, was chilling there, ate some food, got a drink, and just was dancing to the DJs. And out of nowhere, it was like a table next to the DJ booth, and they motioned to me to come over. And at that time, I had messaged my sister, if you guys aren't doing anything after, come meet me at this bar/club. And so they eventually do, but before they get there, the people that invited me over introduced themselves. And at that time, this person mentioned what they do. And they were a director of all these festivals. And they were able to tell me that there was a festival happening this weekend. And as my family, my sister and, everybody accompanying her came to the table and they got there, this person so kindly offered to get us all tickets to go experience this festival, and it was just unreal timing to do that. And I think that moment actually spoke louder about being open to the most impossible opportunities. You're just going in with a smile and you're ready to say yes to anything, but you still have control over yourself. And I think more people need to do that and feel open to the world, inviting them in to what emulates like the human life. The second time, I was told by the owner of Kiku Room that I had to go to this restaurant that was only open for 2 days out of the week and for 5 hours. But you can't make any reservations and you have to go put your name down and hope you get in. So I was able to get there by 3 o'clock, put my name down, and the guy said, I'm not going to be able to sit you for one person until 5 p.m. I was like, all right, well, you know what, I can make that work, whatever. As I'm looking at my phone and trying to find a cafe shop to go check out, a person comes up to me, and in Spanish, he lets me know, and he's about like 65 years old. He lets me know, hey, I overheard your conversation with the host, and I just asked him if it's possible to make my reservation for 2, and my reservation is at 3:30 after I put my name down. Would you want to join me for lunch? And I, of course, just automatically said yes, because that's kind of like the theme of my traveling experiences always, is just say yes to an opportunity, make it possible. We have the best conversation, and there's nothing more exciting than learning about someone who's years older than you and seeing how they see life and what their advice is. He actually went to college in El Paso, Texas, where the majority of my family is actually from, and that's why his English was so good. And it was really exciting learning about what it takes to go do that and leave Mexico to, go to school for engineering. So we had the best time. After, meeting him, and after lunch, we separated, and I went off to go see my sister at the wedding after party. And that was like the eve before my birthday. The day of my birthday, I was able to get an artist pass from the man that I met, 2 nights prior, and I was able to see this festival. And there's nothing like going to a festival in another country, like to see the experience of other people, the culture, the music. It was super exciting. And the best thing about that was at this festival, there is a code on the bracelet that you get. And all you have to do is when you go to where, a concession stand and you want to buy something, they just scan it and you load it with money. So my pass was already loaded with money, so I bought cotton candy, I bought a hot dog. It was the most exciting thing ever. That kicked off and ended my Mexico trip. When I got back, I was actually able to go to Big Sur, and after that amazing trip, I made a post, and that post caught a lot of attention. And after that caught a lot of attention, a lot of people reached out to me, messaging me on Instagram. All their comments helped me realize exactly what my brand is. And that was the biggest thing I was struggling with figuring out, to be able to be on social media and embrace myself in front of millions of people. And it was really just me enjoying life and, doing it wild and free and not a care in the world of how I'm perceived. I post about all the amazing experiences. Maybe it's because I'm a Sagittarius, I don't know. But that is what makes me happy, is getting new experiences and meeting different people. And I think that brings me joy and love, and that is like my true passion. So I think it's all about trusting the vibe and, really creating the most memorable moments through that pure thought of just, I have a hold of myself, I know when to say no, and I know when to say yes, and I know when to leave if I have to. And just, taking every moment as this is what you get, take it or leave it. So I think that calls for another shot. We're going to try the añejo. I actually am super excited to try this. I don't drink this tequila that much, but I think I've had it in a couple drinks, and it's probably really yummy to take a shot, but we'll see. Cheers! That's a little harder. That's a little harder to drink as a shot. I think it's meant for like a mixed drink, but I swear it's giving more of like a smoky taste. There's like hints of like caramelization. I think I would use this as a drink that I'm going to mix for any tequila drink I want. And then let's use this to make our margarita. I hope it's not too loud on the mic, but I have everything I need right here prepped. So let's try that out. Alrighty. So I'm not a bartender, but I am a bar back on the weekends. And I've seen a couple things. Thankfully, I have a little bit of a setup because I think a year ago, I was like, I'm really going to learn how to be a bartender at home. And I never did that, but I have the setup. So I have this little spout. When I tried it earlier, it did spill a little bit. We're going to do, I think this is like one shot. We'll make it two. Because why not? And then we're gonna do this. I can't pronounce it, so don't make me. I'm gonna do 1 ounce. I think this is 1 ounce. Who knows? And then I'm gonna do some lime juice. This is 1 ounce. A little bit of honey. I don't have agave. I know I'm a bad Mexican, but whatever. I think that was like enough of lime juice. But you know what? Just for safe measure, I brought this just in case. So we're gonna just squeeze this little thing. It's the hardest lime I've ever squeezed. Okay, and we're gonna give it a little shake. I already prepared my glass, so that's good. And I hope this isn't that loud on the screen. Am I ready for my bartender career? I don't know, maybe. Okay, so I prepared my glass with the lime and of course the tahini rim. I'm gonna pour this in. I mean, come on guys, like if you saw me behind the bar, you'd probably wanna order like 20 drinks. Cause like, come on, look at this. All right, we're gonna take a little sip. Lick the rim. Take another sip. Guys, that's bomb. That is so good. It's good to be back. Well, I'm actually so happy you guys stayed with me through this whole podcast episode, listening to my Mexico trip, and I really hope that you take what I've experienced and you do a trip. You go out to a bar you never went to, or you take a walk and say hi to someone random and just say yes to whatever comes forth, because there's nothing like experiencing life and people unexpectedly. And I'm excited for this new season of the Lil Sis Podcast. We're gonna have so much fun. I'm ready to do this, and this is a whole new setup in San Diego. I love you guys. And till next time, bye.